Hello, good morning, Shrikant and everyone. Just let me know when I can get started.
Hey, very good morning. I think we're all set. We can get started.
Okay. So,
Thank you,
good
Vidya.
morning. Yeah, thank you. Thanks everyone for joining. November 20th, very close to Thanksgiving. So, hopefully, we'll give you a few updates. And of course, I think we had a very good discussion around the Office 365 pricing. And I think we'll have some updates to it as well. Shrikant will be taking that over. So, a quick overview of the agenda today. Yeah, it's probably just probably 4 to 5 work business days. We have some updates into the production. We have a couple of releases which are on the QA. We will go over the pricing discussions, and then of course we will do the Q&A towards the end. And you please feel free to post your questions on chat as you go along. Okay, just to give you a quick update on where we stand with the critical releases and the line items which we have been discussing the last few weeks. Age of Fingerprint release in production. We are continuously monitoring because we did see certain reports of CPU spikes, which we have proactively addressed it right now. But definitely we are monitoring this as this feature has gone to production as of yesterday. So that is 4351, which is the latest agent release. Auto replication, as you know, we have been communicating starting September on the wind down of V3. Starting November 16th, we are auto replicating all the online agents from V3 to V4. Irrespective of partner, unless it was a specific request, we had most of our partners either shutting down V3 or they wanted to go with auto replication. So all these agents will get replicated onto V4. So this is an ongoing activity. As we are doing this, we are ensuring our infrastructure is in place and pretty much strong enough to handle the load which is coming through. So yeah, so these are the two main activities. And just to let you know that this has caused a little bit of the delay on releasing the M365. We are, as I said, there were a couple of issues around the reports which we are working on. So we are running a little bit delayed on this, but I'm sure the team is going to play catch up. And the other is the web application scanning. Again, more because the load on the workload on the agent fingerprinting and replication has kind of been prioritized. So this has kind of slipped a bit. So sorry about that, but we'll play catch up. Dashboard customization pretty much on track, and the rest of the things I have spoken about, the status page and the probe patching, please continue to use it and let us know of any feedback. Yeah, so the first thing is in production, we now pretty much a parity feature where we can create an event set for solutions with OS or application filter under the integrations view. So if you go to the event set page, you could just group by product before. Now a filter has been added for OS or applications. So based on that, the ticket would get created based on the severity, either for the OS or the application, whatever is chosen. The NTFS permissions, right? So if you go to standard reports, the report showcases like the details of the NTFS permissions, which is the asset name, file system rights, access control types. So all this is now available as a report. Again, a V3 parity. So this has been completed and available in production right now. We have added the MDNS detection, right? So this is nothing but MDNS, multicast DNS detection. The security report card basically refers to monitoring the MDNS traffic on networks. So while MDNS is something very legitimate for a local network device, a discovery like a printer, it can pose a security risk, right? And this was a feedback from a couple of our partners. So what we have done is we basically detect this. So why is MDNS can pose a security risk? The attackers can use it for MDNS to discover devices or can be exploited for a DDoS. So what we have done is we have added a couple of checks. So one is, of course, the MDNS service is running or not, any firewall rule present. And if you are able to connect to that particular port, which is 5353 by default, we are considering it as enabled, right? So based on that, the grade has been decided to be given as 3. This is something which you will see on the security report card in production. Yeah, so you will find all the details about what we are kind of checking, the firewall as well as the port details, whatever is being asked for. And this is for Linux and Mac as well. The next is the release updates under QA. So yeah, and again, these are continuous feedbacks which are coming from our partners. So we have added an OS filter where you can see it under the solutions view. So if you go to assets and the solution page, you can choose the OS filter. Before it was restricted to a particular OS. Schedulers, right? So schedulers, now we have a dashboard view of schedulers. So one is at the global level. So you will have a global level scheduler dashboard as well as schedulers by company. So you can see all the schedulers set up for your system in a global view. And also we will be able to drill down to the company view and see that as to which company and what scheduler is being used. So this is under testing. There are a few changes in production already, but pretty much this should be done this week where you can have a complete view of how your schedulers are. And this is in the dashboard page. This is, of course, one of Ryan's favorite features. I'm pretty sure a lot of the partners told him. So he wanted to basically have a way to indicate and update the agent version from the assets view. So we will be giving this option where the agent version, you can go and click and update it. So this is something which is in the pipeline. So you should be able to see it in the agent version column. It will also be available in the assets page under this icon. Okay. Coming to this, last week, Srikanth did talk about the asset documentation, right? So if you consider asset documentation, what are the core features would you include in that, right? So one is, of course, you store the complete device specification, you document the network configuration, the maintenance records, warranty information, record the purchase details, and then you also maintain probably the troubleshooting guides, and also we'll be able to track the hardware and software information. So keeping that in mind, we have just started to kind of get a flow of the complete asset documentation now that we have more and more information which is coming from our agent. So you will be able to kind of pull in this information. So this is a Windows machine, yeah, which is named as Cricket. I'm sure our engineers love Cricket, so they have named it as Cricket, Windows Cricket. So you can upload, the information, the owner information, and then the financial information, the PO document, and the warranty information per asset. So this is something which we have kind of put it under testing. And this is again for the asset documentation. Okay. Once you have this, definitely you will be able to generate a report which has all the information around the assets, the financial information, the tracking the service history and the purchase details, the warranty information. So whatever is available, we'll be able to pull it and show it in Excel and in the Word doc. So that's something which is in the pipeline. Okay, now over to Srikanth for the pricing updates.
Awesome. Thanks, Vidya. So just before I get into the pricing, on the earlier slide that, Vidya shared on the network documentation, and just want to kind of elaborate a little bit more. We've been in touch with several partners, and one of the things that feedback came to us is that, hey, you guys already have an agent on the network or a probe which discovers all assets. So you're kind of a hairbreadth away from saying, can I add more information to that so that the documentation of that asset, I don't have to use additional, third-party products to do that. Right here in the same, experience, I can update documentation, and that was the network documentation, asset documentation feature that Vidya shared. We have been consistently getting feedback from several partners over the last few months, and hence that feature. Would be great to hear from any of, if anybody has any thoughts on the direction that we should take there. It'll be, certainly good to hear from you. That said, on the Microsoft 365 pricing, again, last week we did the initial pricing, got your feedback, point well taken. We didn't want to confuse things. Hopefully this is a very simple pricing model now. The big change that you will notice is that for the Microsoft 365 capability and over the coming couple of months, 2 or 3 months down the line, when we have Google Workspace support, that will also get added to the same premium edition that you see here. The network documentation feature that Vidya just shared, that's also going to be part of the premium edition right here. So short answer, it is going to be a lot of very good capabilities for all of you. And we decided to keep it simple. No more are we going to count the number of mailboxes and get in the whole confusion of saying, oh, I know that a lot of people in the market do that today, that you have up to 1,000 assets or mailboxes, you charge X and then you charge more per mailbox and so on. We are kind of doing away with this whole piece. It's a flat price, and all you do is you can manage one mailbox or 10,000 mailboxes. There is no difference. It's just a flat cost per month for the additional Microsoft 365 assessment feature that we are launching soon. So with this, what happens is, based on your tier that you always had, the standard edition that you can see here, the 299, 399, 599, 899, 1199, and so on. All we're doing is we are adding a flat 151 to it. So 299 becomes 450, 300 becomes 550, 599 becomes 750, and so on. So it's a very simple model, just a flat cost, no more counting or metering on number of mailboxes. And I hope that kind of makes it simple for everyone. As always, more than happy to hear your feedback. In fact, this whole thing came as an outcome of the discussion that we had last Wednesday. So that's a new pricing there. A couple of questions around that people had around what are the features that are going to be in the Microsoft 365. The first thing we're going to do is going to scan Microsoft 365 tenants and check for specific configuration findings that we see to kind of improve the overall security posture. They're going to be a very detailed report, what we're calling the key findings report, which will provide a lot of detailed background information, the severity of the items that we discover, the misconfigurations that we discover, remediation. How can you remediate some of those? The information for that is going to come there. If you want to know more about a particular misconfiguration that we detected, there are going to be references for you to click on and read more about it, understand more about it, and a list of all the client tenant objects that are affected by that particular finding. So it's going to be very detailed, and it's also going to include OneDrive and SharePoint online, not just email. It also includes other Microsoft 365 key capabilities there. So that's basically the new Microsoft 365 assessment. So you can, the whole idea being, as a significant number of users are on Microsoft 365, how can you give the confidence to your customers that their Microsoft 365 environments are securely configured? So that's like a quick background there. Any feedback on the new pricing? As always, happy to hear that. The difference between standard and premium, a couple of questions I'll take as it comes, is that standard is what it is today, the features that are there in a product today. Nothing is being taken away. Everything that you've been using all these years continues to stay as is. The premium version only introduces Microsoft 365, the network documentation feature, that network and asset documentation feature that we just shared right now. And down the line, maybe like I said, a couple of months down the line, the Google Workspace assessment also. So these are going to be part of the the premium edition. Thank you. I'm getting some good feedback that the new pricing model looks great. Thank you. We just wanted, like I said, keep it simple. We didn't want to count mailboxes and just kind of make it more clunky. So it becomes a flat thing. Use all you can, and it just makes life easier for everyone. So thanks, Jason, Trent, for that feedback. Appreciate it. Yeah. Mark, does it handle MFA conditional access portions? Yes, a lot of that is added here. We'll, in a subsequent call, we'll take you through a more detailed demo of that. When if you saw Vidya's first slide on the release dates, this is for internal. When we do a beta, we will probably in the week after Thanksgiving, when we have the next call, we will certainly take you through a much more detailed functionality of Microsoft 365. So yeah, if there is no other feedback, I think Dennis, thanks for that feedback again. That the pricing is good. So yeah, so we'll keep it simple. We'll get you a beta. Again, what we're going to do is to make sure that there is a good, at least 45 to 60 days, beta that you get to use the product. At that time, it will not be charged. I want to make sure that it's robust. All of you are using the product. You're, happy with what you see. And only then, and then also with prior notification, we will notify everyone. And only then, for those of you who would like to opt in for the premium edition, at that point, we'll make the switch. So we'll certainly do it in a very planned way. So, that's our guarantee this time that we will, it'll be handled in a much more smoother way for everyone. The transition to for people who want to move from the standard to the premium. Akira, we'll not be able to, just a quick answer there. It's at this point, it's for a subscription, not for each customer, because that would become a little bit more difficult for us to, and it's in your interest that if you're paying a flat fee anyway, $150 extra per month, you use it for as many customers that you would, have in your portfolio. Hope that answers your question. Thanks. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate the feedback. Yeah. So that's pretty much the updates for this week. Vidya, do you have anything else to share? Any other feedback from everyone? Happy to hear that. Otherwise, what we will do is we have the Thanksgiving coming up next week. So I want to make sure that we don't get in the way. So the next time we'll connect will be the week after that. So we will send an email out to everyone so that everybody is aware that this is the next call.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Srikanth. Just probably one more slide, because as we engage more in this community, just letting you know a few links which will help you with the engagement. One is just please follow us on LinkedIn. We put on interesting blog posts around the cybersecurity world. And then I'm sure before we were using MSP Geek actively. Now, we have shifted to Discord where the entire team is very proactive on it. So please feel free to join the Discord for Connect Secure. And then the last one, Peter, I think you should talk to this holidays if you're there.
Oh yeah. Hey all. So we like many vendors and MSPs in the industry, we partner up with Channel Program. It's sort of like the Gartner of the MSP industry. So we're sponsoring their holidays program, where we're giving out a DJI drone as our gift, and some other folks are giving out some good stuff. But I dropped
nice.
in our Channel Program page there in the chat. If you guys want to go on there, check us out there. We have some information there as well. Leave some reviews, help us kind of spread the word of what Connect Secure is doing, all that good stuff. But yeah, appreciate y'all's partnership here. Back to y'all.
Yeah. Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
All right. There's nothing else. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, have a great holiday next week for those of you who observe it, and we'll connect the week after. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.